Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files. So we had our calendars marked, we had our alarms and our phones ready for 1 p.m. for the Hasbro Fan First Marvel Legends panel. But then at 11 o'clock, we started seeing some new reveals. We got the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness wave just popping out. We've got a couple of deluxe figures coming from Target. It was so many reveals that the Hasbro team was like, listen, don't worry, we have a lot more reveals to show. They did. But first up, let's break down what we got here from the Multiverse of Madness wave. Starting off with the title character himself, Doctor Strange. And we just got a Doctor Strange in the Spider-Man No Way Home wave. It kind of feels weird, but we really had to have a Doctor Strange in his own wave. And because of the time with No Way Home, it did make sense to have a Doctor Strange figure in there. Now with that one, he came with a Build-A-Figure piece. This one does not. Comes with some cool magical hands, magical effect pieces. So it kind of justifies getting another one here. And the cape looks a little bit different. The head sculpt is definitely different. Got a little cropped hairstyle going. Looks a little bit better likeness to Benedict Cumberbatch. So I get it, but it does kind of feel weird to go back to back with another Doctor Strange figure. Now this one is another, like they took the playbook out of the first wave. We're getting another Astral Doctor Strange figure. I didn't like that figure then. I don't like it now. It just seems like there's so many more characters in the Doctor Strange movie universe that we could have gone with. And there's some in the comic book universe they haven't touched. There's no Clea figure yet, which kind of seems like, hey, she's kind of somebody we need to hit on very soon. This one, I mean, we just got this Astral version previously. There wasn't anything so spectacular that it needed to be revisited here. I know they said that, hey, we're going to fix up the likeness, get the Astral effect a little bit better. I'm surprised then that we still have the regular skin tone for the hands and for the head. Seems like an opportunity to go with that AI hologram version Tony Stark for the head and the hands, just to mix it up some. You can't avoid getting this one if you want the Build-A-Figure because it comes with the head for it. So really curious choice, and I really am disappointed they decided to go back with this look again for the second straight Doctor Strange dedicated wave. So next up is a figure that was desperately needed. We needed a Wong figure. We're finally getting him. And he's got the magical hand effects, same as Doctor Strange. He also comes with a big sword, and he's got an alternate hand sculpt as well to grab the sword. I love the likeness. It looks really good. I think the head could stand and be a little bit bigger, at least from this photo. The package photo makes it look a little bit better scale, but the likeness is great. The outfit has some really good detailing and just really nice. It really reminds me of those really amazing Shang-Chi figures where they had so many intricate levels of detail on the outfit sculpt. Wong has it as well, and just a really good figure. This is a guy we've been waiting for since the first Doctor Strange. Didn't get him then. Didn't get one for Infinity War or an Endgame. So now we're finally getting him. And this works because this version can flow with all those other waves with the Infinity War display or whatever you need. So really happy to finally get him added to the line. Next up is Master Mordu. And this is a very different look on Baron Mordo from the first film. Comes with a crossbow, kind of interesting weapon there, and you see like the dreadlocks, another cool intricate outfit. You see his ring sling there draped along his belt. It's a nice outfit, nice look, and I like this figure just because it's so nondescript that it could work in any context. Like you could put it with your comic book figures, you could put it with your MCU figures for another look at Mordo. But I like it because it can flow with anybody. Maybe even those Dungeons and Dragons figures that Hasbro did not continue after the first release. But really good looking figure, and I'm happy with how this turned out. Next up is America Chavez, aka Miss America. We're seeing her with her MCU look. Now, I'm sure this is going to push back her comic book look a little bit. But I really like the style of the jacket. It's got the distressed stars and stripes. It's got the little stars sitting up there. It's a really nice job on the denim jacket. That's kind of her signature look. Got the necklace here. Her hair is a little bit different, but from the trailer, this definitely matches up with the actress playing America Chavez in the film. Not really a whole lot else to say about the figure. It just looks cool, and she's got the torso. Like a lot of cases where the smaller female figure gets the torso to kind of justify paying the $22.99 for, but she looks good. Next up is Despair, one of two comic book figures in this wave. Despair looks great. I love the setup of the cape with the fabric and the texture and the holes ripping through it. The head sculpt is also great. That mouth deal, really cool. Can't wait to get him. Next up is Sleepwalker, and this was a guy who was really hyped in the early 90s as Marvel's next big thing, and I bet very few people remember him now, but it's a really cool figure. I love that they're branching out and doing somebody like Sleepwalker. Even though there are a couple figures I would have preferred to have before him, I just like that they take chances and take risks doing a character like him. You see the wraps on the leg and the belt and just the arms and the wrists. It's a really cool outfit. The cape is also ripped like Despair. So we're getting a combination of dudes with messed up capes in this wave. But yeah, he's really impressive looking, and I just love the way he turned out. So really happy to get him. This is the full wave, including the Build-A-Figure, Rentra. I believe he's connected to the Young Avengers in the comic book. We'll see how he is connected in the cinematic universe. But it's a different looking wave. We got 5 comic book figures. Clearly we can use the WandaVision, Scarlet Witch to include with these guys as well. So we don't need to double dip. I appreciate that. So we can have another version. So we can get some more characters in this wave. So nice looking setup. Outside of that, Astral Doctor Strange seems like a wasted opportunity, especially since we already have basically the consecutive Doctor Strange from the No Way Home wave. So other than that, I really like this setup. Really good wave and really nice looking characters, especially Master Mordu and Wong with those tremendous fabric texture details on their outfits. Really nice job. So then we got a Target exclusive coming, Defender Strange, and this is kind of based on Doctor Strange's New Avengers look, where he was basically black and red, no cape, and they did a really nice job converting this to the movies, and I'll be very curious and very interested to see what it looks like on the big screen. The cool thing with this one is it comes with a massive portal, so you can do the deal where he's using a ring sling to port in from different places. That is a key accessory for Doctor Strange, and it's really cool to actually see this. This is, I think it's $31.49 right now at Target. Those prices could jump up because it's a deluxe figure, but it's pretty decent. We get a whole new brand new sculpt for Doctor Strange here. You get this accessory, which you can use really for anything with him, with your Spider-Man from No Way Home, with your Avengers set up with Endgame. I'll be curious if this goes on deep clearance like some of these other deluxe sets, because I think a lot of people will jump at this set if it gets to $11 and just for the portals, because they can just throw them in all their dioramas, and I think that would be a really good way to make use of this set. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is the package set up here for Defender Strange. Looks good. I can kind of see what Benedict Cumberbatch looks like there from the side portraits, but it looks good. I wish there was a little bit more to him outside of swappable fists, though. It kind of seems like we should get a little bit more. But the portal does look cool, and I guess that's one of the main things we're paying for. But pretty decent. Next up was Thor Ragnarok from one of my least loved Marvel crossovers, Civil War. This is the evil robotic android version of Thor that the heroes, Reed Richards, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, came up with using a strand of Thor's DNA. It wasn't good because Thor Ragnarok killed Bill Foster, spoiler, and we still don't have a Bill Foster Marvel Legend figure, which would be good. I know we got that janky articulation that was kind of spotty version, but I'd love to see a modern version with the newer articulation. Anyway, the really cool attraction here is we get the swirling Mjolnir, and so we've seen that with Marvel Select, and people use that with their Marvel Legend figures. The Hasbro team was like, yo, we can do this too. So now we've actually got that. We've got a separate Mjolnir, and you're not going to necessarily be able to convert this into a default basic Thor because he's got the red robotic eyes, but you can see this twirling here. That's a nice effect and will be really fun to use in action shots. Here's the regular standard look with the evil robot red eyes, just so you know that it's not regular Thor. And it's kind of weird looking at the cap there because the helmet doesn't line up properly against the hairline. So I wonder if that's intentional to show that he's not Thor. But anyway, that's what he looks like. Pretty decent figure. He's got some robotic hands. I think that's reused from Doctor Doom or Ultron. And I really love the scarred hand showing the battle damage, the scarred face. It's a really nice job on this character that I can't stand. But he's another deluxe figure and probably worth checking out for people who want to get this version to commemorate Civil War, the comic book version. So then for the actual panel reveals, we got Baron Zemo in all of his comic book glory. Old school Masters of Evil, taking down the Avengers in Siege and Under Siege. And I can't say enough great things about this figure. I love the head sculpt, the furry collar, the shoulder pads, the big wrestling belt, the fur along the boots. I mean, this figure looks so good. And they really knocked it out. And just everything about this guy looks great. The only thing is that I don't have him now to boss around my Masters of Evil. But yeah, this is a fantastic looking figure. He's a Walgreens exclusive. He's the first of that set. The theme is Marvel supervillains, so we got to see the second version, the second character from that theme, Jigsaw. And I have held my Toy Biz Jigsaw prominently in my collection for a very long time because, the suit body is pretty bad by today's standards, even by that point standards, but the head sculpt was fantastic. And it just had all this damage, and you could really see the work they put into it. And of course, you're not going to be able to see it on my version, but he looked really good. And these stupid Genki ball joints on the shoulder and the hips were terrible. Really made him hard to stand. I am very excited to be able to update, replace this guy, swap him out with this new version. The head sculpt even looks better. I like that he's got a little bit more hair too. And he's got a bat, he's got some knives, some swords, so he can really do some damage or get damaged further by Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. That neck brace actually comes off too, so you can have a slightly less damaged version of Jigsaw. But I like that you can take it off or put it back on too. So really nice job. He's going to be coming in after Baron Zemo. So I'm curious because I thought maybe this is going to be a Masters of Evil theme. But no, it's more of a just supervillains in general. So I'll be curious to see what corner of the Marvel Universe they go to next. Maybe another X-Men villain, or maybe another Avengers. Maybe this is where we get a wizard from the Fantastic Four, or Paste Pot Pete, aka the Trapster. That'd be nice. Get a little bit more of my Frightful Four come in to fight the Fantastic Four. Next up is Ulk, and Ulk was an exclusive to the Battle for Asgard San Diego Comic-Con set in 2017. It was one of those sets that I was really happy that I was able to get and track down. So I wasn't as thrilled to see this figure because it's like, but that was the whole thing for all of us who stayed up and really made sure that we got our orders and pre-orders on time. It's classic collector whining, but it's nice for everybody that missed out on this first version. And he comes with two different head sculpts. I like this yelling one a lot. The hair is flowing back. He looks like he is ready to take Mjolnir straight to the head. The armor still looks great. The sculpt, very good. And he actually articulates really well, so you can get some really fun creative poses with him. And he's a nice big guy to put up against your Thor figure. So for everybody that missed out earlier, this is a really nice figure to add. He's got his mace too, little braces, the brass knuckles on his wrist. So definitely a nice powerhouse. And yeah, he's going to look fun for everybody who missed out on him. Only catch is he is a Walmart exclusive, which means this could be almost as much trouble to track down and find as the San Diego Comic-Con version. So good luck if you're looking for him. So next up was the latest reveal for the 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends. This is the Hulk. So and they didn't bother trying to hide any suspense. They told us we're going to see Toad later, but for now, Hulk joins Captain America, Iron Man from the first ever series of Marvel Legend figures. This figure is basically the Hulk and Wolverine set version, just with a new head sculpt, a little bit different paint. I kind of wish that they had gone the different version with Hulk's look and went with the shorts just so we could mix it up and have a different look for him. That's not consistent with this version that we got in the original Marvel Legends series, but it would have been fun and a nice option to just mix it up, because that Hulk versus Wolverine Hulk was really definitive for me. And I like the head sculpts. They definitely channel the 70s, 80s look of Hulk, but I think giving him trunks would have made it more of a sell for me. And he is not cheap. He's $45. So it's one of those instances where you're paying more for a figure. And I know it's the common thing of, hey, we don't pay more per wave just because somebody's bigger. I don't know why he's got to be more, but in this case he is. And I think for $45, I am definitely going to wait until he comes down in price. He's got a cool base though, so you can see him smashing the ground, the effects from the force of it coming and the concrete going up. That'll be nice to add with your other figures as they fight Hulk. But yeah, really nice job. Mandroid helmet. I still have my Captain America the Winter Soldier Mandroid Build-A-Figure, still helmetless. So I think whenever I do get this Hulk, I will be replacing the non-head that I have on my figure right now and actually give him a head so I can complete a figure. I just need to find some gold spray paint to match and complete the look. But yeah, I really like this. See the Hulk charging in action. And I'm digging how they're really capturing the 70s style. I think this is Paul Harding that sculpted these head sculpts, because he shows some digital renderings of Iron Man and Captain America. And I think this is basically his style again with Hulk. And so that's really cool. I really wish they let him do a Captain Marvel version so we get the feathered hair in its proper 70s glory. But you see here with the cover from this figure, and it's got Hulk and trunks. And this is something we don't have right now in Marvel Legends from Hasbro. And this would be a fun one to get, because we've always got pants versions of Hulk. And getting that would be a nice distinction, set them apart from our other Hulk figures that are rocking jeans. So next up, we got the X-Men wave. And Havoc is incredible. This was not the first one shown, but I was so excited about this one I had to just rush and put him to the front of the line. I've had that evil face from the Toy Biz line as my default classic Havoc forever. I'm so happy to replace him. This figure looks incredible, from the eyebrows coming up, the crown of his really unique headpiece. But the best part, they've actually included an accessory piece, new accessory piece, to show off his powers. And I know there are a lot of customizers that make effect pieces. You won't need to with Havoc. And it's a really nice piece. He's got the classic black outfit, got his powers kind of summoning up like he's about to unleash. And the great thing about Havoc is he can go with the original X-Men as their first part of the reinforcements with Polaris. Hopefully this means we're going to get a classic old school Polaris down the road too. But you can also go with the Outback Squad. And we've started to get a few of those members. I guess we could throw Dazzler in there. I guess we have her. We got Wolverine in the brown and yellow, or brown and orange outfit. We've got Punk Storm that kind of works with that. But we need some more figures now, because this is a really fun era of the X-Men, kind of underrated. And Havoc adds another member, a key member to that team. So really nice job. Love those power effects, and can't wait to see what else Hasbro gives us in terms of new effect pieces. Vulcan is next up. Then we saw Vulcan in the PulseCon preview. We didn't get to see the actual figure in all of its glory. We saw some renderings. It looked good, but this figure looks really nice, and I think they did a really good job on him. I read the storyline where Vulcan was introduced, and with his second team of X-Men that went to Krakoa to save Scott and his squad before they got beat down, and Xavier needed to call in Storm, Wolverine, etc. The revisionist history in X-Men is always interesting, but Vulcan's a cool character. They did a really nice job with someone who has a plain outfit, and I think it kind of captures this in-between 70s, 80s look. and the head sculpt looks really good. He's got a new body, butterfly shoulders. I love to see Cyclops, plural, get revised on this body because I think it just works better for him. Looks a little bit broader, has better articulation with the butterfly shoulders, which would be nice for somebody with optic blast. And yeah, just a really clean looking figure. A little bit more bulk than the Bucky Cap mold, which definitely needed to be retired. Next up is Vulcan's teammate Darwin. And Darwin has the alien face and kind of creepy look to him. He's smaller, which I appreciate, so we can show that visual difference between him and Darwin. He's got elongated hands, a little bit more alien in nature, and they did a nice job with the color scheme. It actually matches the comic. There's no, ooh, it should be darker, it should be lighter. Nice job with Darwin. And I'm curious now if we're going to get the other two members of this alternate X-Men squad, because if you go with half of them, you got to get the other two. So hopefully it won't be too long before we see them coming up in 2022. Next up is a guy that we never have to worry about getting figures. It's Wolverine. And this is apparently from when he died and came back to life for the 80th time. He's got some different looking claws. I guess the blood stains from when he pops the claws are showing up here. On the claw, they're kind of translucent, so kind of like a see-through kind of claw. It's a weird look. I like the head sculpt. I wonder if this is something I could use for my Alpha Flight or Hulk versus Wolverine head sculpt or figure, because I still have that old one with the classic small ears and so forth. This looks like it would be a match for that older Wolverine, which I can then use as my classic version to go along with the Claremont, Cockrum, Byrne era X-Men. And it's a nice pose. I mean, this body's great for Wolverine. It looks good. I just don't need this version of him unless he's included with the Build-A-Figure part, which I assume he will just because I don't want him to. Next up is Maggot, a figure that we saw the tease and I actually knew who they were talking about. And I love the head sculpt. I assume he's got to get some glasses there just to complete his look. He's got his maggots there crawling over him. One fits right in his hand, the other can slide over his shoulder. That's really cool. He looks big. He's got great texture on his jeans, on his jacket, and a nice head sculpt that works for Maggot because he was more of a cheerful character. I am hoping this means we're eventually going to get Cecile Reyes and Marrow to complete that era of the X-Men, the new additions. They were very short-lived in terms of their prominence as part of the X-Men, but I really like that they made him, and definitely makes me want to get the other two to complete that team. Next up was Siren. I wasn't happy about this because, as you know, I have been championing for my boy Banshee to get a figure, an updated version, because for so long we've just got this guy who is terribly and horribly outdated at this point, and we're still waiting. They actually joked. They were like, "Nah, we're gonna hold this off because we know you guys actually want Banshee. We're gonna show you his daughter instead." And as you see, bicep articulation, double jointed elbows, so good. Not really loving the head sculpt though, because her whole power is that she's yelling and she has a sonic scream, and she's got this calm, serene head sculpt with doesn't quite match up with her wild flowing hair. So it's a weird combination. Really hope that we see a different portrait included with her, because she's definitely a character that would benefit from an alternate head sculpt. And I know it's kind of tricky having a woman, a female character with her open mouth in a figure form, because you never know what guys are going to do with their posing online. But for her, it's essential. We did that with Banshee. Got to have something like that with her too. So hopefully we see that. They seem to have incorporated the cape really well, because that was something with this figure that was kind of weird. You see here how the wings attach to the legs, which is kind of weird. Not how Banshee's outfit looked. This is more how it came out. And I'm really excited because that means they figured out how to do it now. And now we just need to get Banshee. So wish they had a different head sculpt, but I'm glad to add her to my collection of X-Force figures. And you see that nice job there. It's got her wings flying in the distance there. And she's really calm because I guess she's done yelling. Next up is another character whose head sculpt kind of gave me some pause. So it's Sabretooth, his original look when he was part of the Marauders, who I definitely want to see more of pop up in this line. One of my favorite villain groups, period, not just X-Men, not just Marvel, just all of comic books. They were just killers and everybody was going after the X-Men, and they had a nice rivalry going on. Now we can get the updated version of this guy. Toy Biz released this version as in their like Swan Song Farewell Marvel Face Off line. This guy holds up so well. He's just a little bit tiny compared to more of the modern Marvel Legend figures. And I think in a lot of ways, this figure still holds up well, even against this guy. Definitely the head sculpt. That head sculpt is so much better than this one. I see what they were going for with the maniacal kind of, I'm going to go after you and kill you and take you out. But I don't think it quite works as well as they intended. Maybe we'll get an alternate head sculpt with him because I think that's the only thing that's really missing. And I'm looking at my figure here and I do notice that these gloves were all the way in, whereas the Hasbro version has the open toes and open hands. I have to check to see which one is accurate, but the figure looks good and he's definitely going to have a lot of posability. So maybe if it really comes down to it, I'll just swap the head, hopefully, and put it onto the newer body. But maybe this is a deal where it looks better in person. We'll see. But yeah, he's going to look good. Hopefully we have some more Marauders to put him with next to Mr. Sinister as they go off to take out the X-Men. And next up, finally, is the Build-A-Figure Bone Breaker. And this guy looks amazing. They did a great job. They just set him up so nice. Like you just see everything going down with this guy. And he's just... it's an incredible looking sculpt. He looks crazy. It looks like he's about to get in some madness with his fellow Reavers as they go to kill off X-Men. The full tank, the tank treads don't move, but you can kind of move along with your hand. The gun turret does work. He's got a big honking gun ready to take out, do some super major damage. Love the mohawk just flowing. He's got this maniacal happy grin like he is he's living his best life, going after people and causing mayhem and terror. And yeah, they did a nice job with this. This means we're actually gotten a pretty decent amount of Reavers, though. We've got Cole, Reese, that combination deal. We've got Lady Deathstrike. So we've actually got a decent amount of Reavers coming. And hopefully we'll get a Reaver version of Donald Pierce with the full cloak and the hands, the whole deal. And we still got Pretty Boy and a few more to get as well. But this is a really nice Build-A-Figure. Nice lure to get that whole wave. Hopefully we don't need to get Wolverine though, because I don't want him. But yeah, this is really cool. So I was really happy with what they showed. Once again, the Marvel Legends team just shows you how it's done. So many great reveals. So many things to be excited about. The Multiverse of Madness wave is actually up now for pre-order at Target, Amazon, and Entertainment Earth. Target's probably the best bet because they have a spend $100, get $20 off deal, so you can take advantage of that to save some money and get a figure for cheaper than the normal $22.99. But yeah, that's a really strong showing to close out 2022. Now I can start working on my wish list for figures I want to see from Hasbro with the Marvel Legends line. I've got a few actually taken off because of the showing. Havoc, definitely Havoc for sure. Really nice job on him. Jigsaw takes out another old school figure I wanted to see replaced. And Sabretooth just about perfect there. And sorry, Banshee, we're still going to have you on the list for another year, it looks like. Maybe 2023, guy. But totally worth checking out, seeing all these figures. You can see my full gallery over at lylesmoviefiles.com. And that's it for me. I'll be back really soon with my wish list. Maybe my best of 2021 if I hurry up and do a few more reviews. But for now, that's it. This episode of Lyles Figure Files has been filed.